All right, so The Boys season 3 is all wrapped up now, so it is time for me to review it. This will be my non-spoiler and my spoiler review all in one video. I'm going to start off with the non-spoiler review and then get into spoilers in about 10 minutes or so. But yeah, as for my non-spoiler review for this season, is it my favorite season yet? I don't think so, but it's still really solid. There are certain things that happen towards the end of the season that I don't quite care for, and the new character Soldier Boy. While he got a lot to do in the show, I just don't think they gave him quite enough. They didn't give him enough time. I mean, there's a lot of different storylines going on in this season with Starlight and Huey, Aaron Moriarty playing Starlight and Jack Quaid, playing Huey, and I love them as a couple, but they have some issues in this season, and it's not that I don't care about it, but it seems like there's a lot more important things going on than their relationship. But that's just me personally. I still like some of the moments they have together, but it's not what I want to watch. It's not what I'm craving when I go to watch The Boys. I come to The Boys to get not only violence, just craziness and superheroes. I come for the story too, and I don't know. Those smaller moments don't always do it for me, especially just like relationship things that's turning into a drama or whatever. But for the most part, like that's my only complaint about this season is that there's just certain things going on with certain characters that I don't necessarily care for. Like there's a whole storyline going on with Kimiko and Frenchie. Frenchie played by Tomer Capone and Kimiko played by Karen Fukuhara. Also, forgive me if I'm not super high energy. I'm kind of tired right now, but I just need to record this review, so hope you guys understand. But yeah, there's a storyline with them in this season that I didn't necessarily care for, and they had a whole arc just to basically get back right where they were towards the end. So I didn't see why it was necessary to have this whole arc, but I mean, for the most part, like it gave Frenchie some confidence, so that's what I liked. And honestly, I don't think I'm spoiling anything huge here. If you're freaking out about me saying like, Frenchie is getting more confidence, like that's not a huge spoiler. A big spoiler would be saying like, I don't know, Thanos came in and killed Homelander or something like that. That would be a big spoiler, which is obviously not true. But yeah, it's always light spoilers when it comes to these non-spoiler discussions, if I do bring up anything in particular at all. But let's get to the other cast here because there's a lot of important cast members. And also, this is for some of you who haven't even watched The Boys before, so I'll introduce you to some of the actors and the characters that they play and give you a little synopsis about their characters and whatnot. Main character here, main character is Carl Urban. Well, Carl Urban isn't the character, he's the actor, but he plays Billy Butcher, and he is the leader of the Boys, basically this team that hunts down bad superheroes. There's a lot of bad superheroes, Homelander being the worst for sure. And Homelander is definitely Billy Butcher's biggest target, and there's a lot of focus on that in this season. We also, like I mentioned, Jack Quaid as Huey Campbell. Yeah, I think he's the son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I love him and everything I see him in. He was really good in the new Scream movie, and I really like him here as Huey Campbell. He's always seen as weak, but he gains a lot more confidence throughout this season and learns to fight back a little more. So, love that. And then also, as I said before, Aaron Moriarty as Any January / Starlight. And out of all the superheroes on the Seven, basically the superhero team that they have, she is the only one that is just like almost 100% good. Then you have Dominique, and I always say her last name wrong, Miguel Elgot. probably saying that wrong, as Maggie Shaw / Queen Maeve. She's basically supposed to be like Wonder Woman. She has her demons for sure, but she's a good person deep down. Jesse T. Usher as A-Train. You know, at times it seems like he has good intentions, but he's just being screwed around with so much by Vought, the big corporation in this show that basically funds and controls and has promotional offers and stuff like that for the superheroes, the Seven. But yeah, A-Train, I don't know. I want to see good things about him. Like, I want to see the good in him, but he chooses to be selfish time and time again. He's basically like the Flash kind of character, super speed and all that. I liked a lot of what they did with this character in this season, but yeah, I'll really have to wait and see what they do going forward. Another member of the boys, we have Laz Alonso as MM, which stands for Mother's Milk. I know, kind of a weird name. It's more fitting for Homelander, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I really like MM. I think he's a cool character. He has his issues for sure, especially with the certain character that's introduced in this season. But yeah, I always like MM. So great character there. Another member of the Seven, Chase Crawford as the Deep, basically the Aquaman. And this dude is just like a fish. He is very slimy, and I do not like him at all. And the characters that you don't like in this show, they're made to not be liked by people, which makes it so fun to hate them, honestly. I think out of all the members of the Seven, obviously you have to hate Homelander the most, but the Deep would probably be second, to be honest. Then we have Tomer Capone as Frenchie, like I said before, and Karen Fukuhara as Kimiko. Both really great characters that I don't think always get their time to shine, but they have some good moments in this season. There's a whole musical sequence in this season in one of the episodes, and guilty pleasures right here for me. Guilty pleasure is musicals. I love Mamma Mia and stuff like that, Hamilton, In the Heights. So to see a musical sequence in this show was really awesome. Kind of weird, but not even the weirdest thing to happen in this season. Not even close. One thing I meant to say before, this is the nastiest season yet. It is gross. There are times where I wanted to like gag almost. Not as bad as like Jackass, because you know that stuff is real, but with the boys it gets nasty, dude. And I won't go into any big details here. That's more for the spoiler discussion. There's one thing in particular I want to talk about in terms of just pure nastiness, but ooh, do not eat while you're watching this show. Then we have Colby Minifie as Ashley Barrett, and she's basically, in a way, kind of running Vought at this point. She is an interesting character, to say the least. You see that she has good in her, but at the end of the day, she's just such a bitch, dude. And, you know, she's so stressed out that she's like, all her hair is coming out, basically. She's pulling hair out when she's like arguing with people and stuff. And she got issues, that's for sure. But she needs a new job. Then we have Claudia Dumit. Dumit. Yeah, I'm just going to say Dumit or Domit. Playing Victoria Newman. I believe she was a Secretary of Defense in the beginning of this season, but I could be wrong. And she is basically the boss to Huey at the beginning of this season and the end of the last season. Yeah, and then the big character that they brought in for this season is Jensen Ackles playing Soldier Boy. You know, Soldier Boy is basically supposed to be a just shitty version of Captain America. And if you don't know Jensen Ackles, he was very popular for playing Dean on Supernatural. Pretty sure he played Dean, yeah. He was great on that show. Honestly, that's the only thing I've really seen him in, if I'm remembering correctly, but he was absolutely great in this show. I just wish we had more time with him in the show, honestly. And, you know, maybe in the future we will, but, you know, it's just one of those things. And some characters just, you know, some actors aren't brought in for long enough, and it is what it is, man. But Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito as Stan Edgar, one of the other leader, or not leaders, but like um I guess it's like an executive at Vought. But if you don't know Giancarlo Esposito, oh my god, he is amazing. Oh, he's such a good actor. He played Moff Gideon on The Mandalorian. It seems like that character might be returning soon, so that is quite cool. Sorry, my low battery thing just popped up there. But yeah, that's basically like the main cast for the show, and then some of the main cast for the season as well. But yeah, also, I wrote my notes on this because I couldn't find any regular paper. So yeah. Uh, that's basically all I have to say. My voice is cracked. That's basically all I have to say in terms of non spoilers. I guess I'll say a couple other things that I mentioned on these notes here. Grossest season yet? I already said that. Is this my favorite season yet? Not quite, but it's still really good and full of surprises. Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy is a really great addition to the cast. At times you wonder who you should be rooting for because at times Billy Butcher goes a little too far and it really draws that line between good and evil and you just don't know who to root for at times. So I really like that. Um, Let me see here. Learning big things about certain characters that we didn't know before, like Butcher and then some other characters that I won't get into. Um, Homelander is the craziest he's ever been in this season, for sure. Honestly, freaking Green Goblin, like Willem Dafoe style, kind of crazy. Um, and then the last thing, yeah, Butcher drawing the line between good and evil. So that's all for the non spoiler review. And I'm trying to think if I have anything left to say. If you're watching this right now and you haven't started The Boys, I would recommend you watch it. Watch the first episode. I think that's enough to kind of give you a taste of what the show is like. And if it's not for you, no worries. But yeah, also, if you're a fan of The Boys and you haven't checked this out, definitely go watch Invincible because I love that show so much. Can't wait for season 2. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. But great cast, great story. Crazy shit going on for sure. And this review is not for children because this show is not for children. So let's get to the spoiler talk here. If you have not watched season 3 of The Boys, or really any of the other seasons of The Boys, then I suggest you click off now. But before you do, in case anybody, hasn't watched the show, I just wanted to say right now, actually, my laptop broke, and so I made a GoFundMe page to help raise money to get a new one, or at least get that one fixed. It'll probably end up being cheaper to get a new one, so yeah, I'll have the link in the description for you guys to go donate if you could. Any amount helps, so I would very much appreciate it. But let's get to my spoiler review of The Boys Season 3. Yeah, so don't want spoilers. You've been warned. Head on out of here. Let's get into it. I don't have a whole lot to talk about. I'm not going to be breaking down every aspect of Season 3, but I'm mainly going to be talking about the biggest things that I thought had a huge effect on the story overall. And then a couple other things that I was just like, oh my god, I need to talk about this. Starting with the dude who has Ant-Man powers, snorting some cocaine, going inside some dude's dick hole, sneezing inside of there, and then splitting the dude in half. I mean, there's a lot of crazy shit that goes on in this season. There's a whole episode called Hero Gasm, and that episode is fucking nasty. But I don't know if anything tops what I saw with that because, oh my god, man, that was the nastiest shit I have ever freaking seen. But it was also hilarious and just fucking brutal, and exactly what I expect from this show for sure. Um, I love the whole backstory with Soldier Boy. I just think he's really interesting. We learn a little bit about him and his dad, how his dad was like maybe not abusive physically, but more emotionally and mentally. And it kind of made him want to, take the compound V or whatever, become a superhero. And, his story of his dad basically telling him he took the easy way out. I was like, damn, dude. and then how his whole team turned on him because he was just such a piece of shit. And yeah, I mean the whole reenactment of it too that Black Noir sees with those cartoon animals. I'm just like, by the way, that was fucking weird, but added a lot to his death for sure, which I'll get into in a minute here. But yeah, just seeing the reenactment of it, seeing what he did to Black Noir, and seeing how he was the one that mangled him, basically. Um, yeah, I mean, he had to go, and it was just perfect for the way everything wrapped up. You saw that this guy, like, even though he has the capability of killing Homelander, at what cost, That's kind of the question that you have to ask when it comes to having this guy, try to be your weapon. And Jensen Ackles, I think, did a really good job. They left it open for him to come back if they wanted to. They also left it open for Queen Maeve to come back if they wanted to do that, which felt a little cheap that they didn't die. But at the same time, I would have felt very disappointed if they killed off Soldier Boy. Also, excuse me. Also, I feel like I might have potentially spoiled his death in my non-spoiler review just a few minutes ago. So that's kind of why I slowed down for a minute there. Hopefully that doesn't spoil anything huge for people, but I have a feeling it could. But we're already this deep into the video, so, might as well roll with it. But let me see what else I have in the notes here. Butcher has only a few months to live by the end of the season because of the temporary Compound V. And I don't think the next season will be the last season. I think they'll do one more after that. But it is possible that we will see Butcher die in the next season. And then, the whole trying to take down Homelander is carried on by the rest of the boys. I think that would be kind of poetic in a way. Because, they always followed his lead. And, if he is taken out of the equation, it's kind of perfect because the way they're at right now, they're just like, we're done with your bullshit. Like, Frenchie stood up for himself, stood up for himself. Everybody's standing up for themselves and not trying to just blindly follow him anymore. So I think it'd be kind of perfect if he did end up dying and then they took on the mantle of trying to take down Homelander by themselves and just kind of carried it on in his name. I think that'd be kind of interesting, kind of an interesting direction to go. So there's a little theory for season 4 there. But yeah, Black Noir got killed by Homelander. That was a brutal death, basically, because Homelander was upset that he didn't tell that Black Noir didn't tell him that Soldier Boy was his dad, and that was a very big reveal there. And when it happened in episode 7, I think, where we learned that at the very end, I was like, oh my god, is this true? And by the next episode, it made it sound like it might not have been true and just like kind of a trap, but then it did end up being true. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess. So it was hard for me to follow that just a little bit. But I guess in the end, yeah, they were definitely maybe not blood related, but just like basically a copy of him in a way. I'll have to watch some breakdown videos to know for sure. But yeah, another point I wanted to make here. Fuck Todd, dude. Fuck Todd. MM's like ex-wife's new husband or whatever. He is a fucking piece of shit. Especially at the end of the last episode when he's at that Homelander rally or whatever and Homelander kills a dude. And then he's just like cheering for him, and then we see Ryan smile, and I'm just like, oh my god. I mean, I don't know what's going to end up happening at this point. I don't like to theorize a whole lot because I like to just go along for the ride. So, I mean, if I had to guess, Ryan's going to end up maybe being evil too, or I don't fucking know, man. We'll see. But we did have some celebrity cameos in this season from Seth Rogen, who's actually, I believe, an executive producer on the show and maybe a writer possibly. And then Charlize Theron as well in one of their parody movies or whatever. Or maybe not a parody movie, but like one of their Vought movies where it's like The Rise of the Seven and she's playing Stormfront. it's always cool to see those celebrity cameos in here. Um, that was a loud car passing by. Sorry about that. But I know there was a lot of other cameos, and I'm missing a bunch on my notes here. But I know there was like Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. There was like a whole bit with, them making fun of the Gal Gadot Imagine video where there's like Imagine the you know what I'm talking about with all the celebrity cameos and shit. But any more notes I need? Yeah, basically I covered everything. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot more I could have covered. It was a long season. Maybe I would have been a little bit better with it if I covered it week to week, but I was already watching 4 different shows, so just didn't feel like doing that. But yeah, if you have any questions for me about what I thought about certain elements or scenes or characters from this season, let me know down in the comments below. Don't spoil anything huge, or like, not huge, but don't spoil anything at all. Um, try to make certain things vague, and I'll try to comment with vague things too, since this is a non-spoiler and spoiler review. Um, yeah, comment down below with anything you think, as long as it's not spoiler related, please. Don't want to spoil it for anybody else, but leave a like on the video and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And please, like I said, right before the spoiler review, please go donate to my GoFundMe so I can get myself a new laptop so I can bring you guys the best quality videos I can. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.